don't finish, maybe you can come back and give us a second part.
Oh, yeah. And I heard Alex is teaching the same subject soon. So maybe if I don't finish, she can fill in what I don't, if I don't get to something.
Yep. Hi, Julia. Thank you for helping us recording. Yay. I'm so happy to see new volunteers helping. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Welcome everyone to our session of the month in Bringing Wisdom to Life series. I'm so happy to have this month Rebecca Vinacour. She's a senior teacher of Asian Classics Institute and a long-term Geshe Michael student. So it's an honor to have her here teaching us a very difficult subject. But what this classes is about is to learn how to receive difficult subjects and transform them to easy daily life practices. So thank you very much. Before we start, I would like to ask all the participants to turn on your cameras so we can have more intimate atmosphere. And also, we will let you know that the chat will be disabled for the first 45 minutes so we don't get distracted with multiple messages during the class. The class will be open again in the last 15 minutes of the class. If someone has a question, that will be the moment to ask. So once again, welcome everyone, and welcome Rebecca. Rebecca, you're muted. You're muted again.
Hi, I think someone needs to press record. Are we?
Yes, we are ready to start. Yes.
Okay. And you've got the record on. Yeah. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh. Good morning. Thank you for coming. I will try to speak slowly for the translators. This is a little bit of a difficult subject matter, and we only have an hour. Geshe-la taught this, I think, in 1999 in California, and he taught it over like 20 hours, and we only have 1 hour. So I'm frankly, I'm gonna skip over the very difficult. There's like minute details about the different schools of Buddhism. And I'm going honestly to mostly skip over them because we don't have time. And you can go to the knowledge base and study the more difficult points when you have an extra 20 hours to spare, okay? So I recently went through like a pretty difficult time in my life. And I think maybe some other people, if you're in this class, you might be familiar with going through difficult times because people don't usually come to the Dharma because everything is going great in their life, right? Like when we're having a wonderful time, we're not usually thinking, where did this come from? I'm so lucky, right? We're usually just busy being blissed out and happy, right? And most of us who came to the Dharma, we came because we had some sort of disaster in our lives, right? I know people, they had some really terrible things happen that made them question. Someone's telling me to slow down, I think. We had some pretty bad things happen in our lives that made us question why. Like, why did this happen to me? Or why did my mom get sick? Or why did my sister struggle with mental illness? Or my personal favorite, why did he break up with me? Why did he leave? Right. And those things, the sort of traumas in our lives, can propel us towards something higher, because we really only have three choices about where things come from. Right. So it's God, it's random, or it's karma. Right. And when you realize random doesn't make sense and God doesn't really make sense, you start looking for some bigger answers. Yeah. So like I said, I was going through a very difficult time a few months ago, and then I, by coincidence, got an email that they were looking for teachers to do these once a month classes. And I thought, well, I need to know, why did my life blow up? And how can I deal with my life blowing up? And I started to think about, what teachings can I go back to? What teachings can I rest my head on like a pillow and get some comfort from, and calm myself down and become a person again who can help other people and not be so self-absorbed in my own problems and my own worries. And I originally thought about Lojong, but then as I was having a little bit of a mental breakdown at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was awake and I couldn't catch a thought because I was having some panic, I thought, you know what? You're going to wake up in the morning and these fears are going to be gone. This is just momentary. Stop thinking it's permanent. And then I remembered at 4 o'clock in the morning, whoa, this is the first flavor of emptiness. Right. And then I started to go through all 6 flavors of emptiness. And by the time I got to number 6, which is the real flavor of emptiness, and there is a 7th one, if we have time, I will teach you the secret one. I felt better. And then I thought, well, we live in samsara and the world is always falling apart. And maybe I'm not the only one having some struggles these days. And so I thought this would be the best way to teach this class. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to talk about the 6th and maybe 7th flavor of emptiness if we have time. And I hope that it can bring some comfort to your lives and that you can pass it on to your friends when they're also having some struggles, okay? Because not everyone is ready for the real flavor of emptiness, the real meaning of emptiness. It takes a lot of good karma to understand emptiness. And some people, honestly, they're just not ready for it. And if you try to introduce them to the pen and the real meaning of the pen, you can freak them out and then they don't come back. So you can share these with your non-Buddhist friends, as I'm sure they come to you for help. All of my non-Dharma friends, they're not interested in Buddhism until they're having a big problem in their life. And then I usually pick one of these and try to help them with it. Okay. Again, there's only one that's the actual real flavor of emptiness. These other ones just kind of help push you to the real one. Okay. So the first one, like I said, is that things change. Nothing's permanent. Okay. So that feeling of confusion and panic and loss that you have when someone dies or when you get dumped. And by the way, I find they're a very similar feeling. That feeling doesn't last forever. I mean, think about your high school boyfriend or your high school girlfriend and think about how hard it was when they broke up with you. And that sadness, and you didn't stop talking about them to your friends for weeks or months, and you thought you'd never love another person, right? I mean, Is anyone here still hung up on their college boyfriend or their high school girlfriend? You can raise your hand if you still obsessively think about your high school boyfriend or high school girlfriend. If you're in your early 20s, it's okay if you still do. Otherwise, you have some problems. No, none of us are still obsessed unless you're maybe 23 or 24. You will get over it, I promise. Um, so so the emptiness here, because we always talk about emptiness in terms of the negative, the gakja. So that's the thing that everyone, I can't hear you, but say gakja. Everyone say gakja. Gakcha, good. Gakcha, yeah. So what's the gakcha? Gakcha is a thing that doesn't exist and could never exist. Like a two-headed purple elephant running around the room right now. Do you see a two-headed purple elephant running around behind me? No. Could you? Why don't you? Because it's impossible. Okay, so that's the same thing with these different flavors of emptiness. Okay, so the gakja here is it's an absence of permanence. Okay, and this, like I said, is very comforting when you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning after you've been dumped and you think you're always going to be alone and no one will ever love you and your life is completely destabilized and the support system you have is gone. And you get this horrible sinking feeling and this loneliness and this panic because now you're alone. But then you remember, well, actually, I've been through this before. I always got over it. Frankly, I always met someone else, like I'm going to be okay. So this is a thing that can help you deal with samsara. Okay, things change. There's nothing that isn't permanent. Okay. And I can refer to my notes because this is a difficult subject matter and I want to make sure. Okay. So the truth is, when we're having a panic attack or when we're angry or when we're having any kind of klesha, do you guys know the word klesha? Klesha means, and I'm sorry, I have a cold, so I'm gonna wipe my nose. Klesha means mental affliction. Okay. So anytime you're having any kind of mental affliction, it's because you're having a misunderstanding. So when you wake up at 4 in the morning with a panic attack, with that, I'm always going to be alone. It's because you're having a misperception of reality and you're thinking that things will never change. So this is a thing you can go back to at 4 o'clock in the morning, like I did. Okay. Okay, the second flavor, and these get progressively more difficult. So you should enjoy it while you have the easy things are changing. Okay. Just have fun with that one. Okay. The second one is there's no driver. Okay, I'll tell you what it means. There's no driver. This is an absence of owning things. The gakja here is that you own something. Or that you can somehow control things, like you can control a car. Okay. I can't see all of you, but I'm going to assume you're all wearing a shirt today. Yeah, everyone has some clothes on. Can you tell me with absolute certainty that you will own that shirt tomorrow? All right, translators, I'm looking at you. I can only see you guys right now. So I want you to go like this or go like this. Can you tell me with absolute certainty that you're going to own your shirt tomorrow? No, thank you to the people who shook your heads. No one said yes, but that's because you're seasoned practitioners. But there's an assumption, we all assume that, like, I just bought this new shirt, luckily, so I had something nice to wear for class. But we all assume that we're gonna own our shirt tomorrow. Like, I just paid, I don't know, $20, $30 for this shirt, and I'm gonna own it tomorrow because I paid for it. Well, maybe not. I'm not even home right now. I'm staying with my friend, and maybe I'm gonna leave my shirt here, and maybe they're gonna steal my shirt and never give it back to me. It's very possible I won't own this shirt tomorrow. You know, we have this delusion that um that because we have 10 fingers and 10 toes today, that tomorrow we will also have 10 fingers and 10 toes tomorrow. Or we have the delusion that because we're healthy today, we'll be healthy tomorrow. I mean, no one here probably thinks that they're going to get sick tomorrow, unless, well, I know I probably will be because I woke up sick today. But I did have the hope last night when I went to bed that I would wake up healthy, you know. So it's the same with your health. You think you can control your body, you think you can control your possessions, and you know, you think you can control your mind. How many people here think that they own their mind? It's your mind. Do you own your mind? I mean, you're shaking your head, but who's thinking your thoughts? I mean, am I thinking, let me look for someone's name I know how to pronounce. Alex. Am I thinking Alex's thoughts? I don't even know Alex. How can I think Alex? Nice to meet you, by the way. How can I think Alex's thoughts when I don't even know Alex? They're his thoughts. They're not my thoughts. But look, if I could control my thoughts, if I really owned my thoughts, I would never wake up with a panic attack at 4 o'clock in the morning. So we're not even in control of our thoughts, let alone our body or our world, right? If you could control your thoughts, for any of you who are longtime practitioners and are still under the delusion that you're in control of your thoughts, would you ever feel angry or sad or upset? No one would ever choose, right, Svetlana? No one would ever choose to feel angry or sad or panicked or a lack of love. We would just always love everyone because that is, well, that's what we're supposed to do as Buddhists, right? You'd never have a negative thought. Um, so in those moments when you're dealing with anger or sadness, you can go back to this. You can rest your head on the reality that you're not in control right now. Hey, you're not in control right now, and this is going to change. So you can use two flavors of incorrect emptiness at once to calm yourself down at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So that's the flavor of emptiness. Okay. The third flavor of emptiness, this is the absence of things happening to you by chance. Okay. And I'm very excited because I think I'm actually going to finish teaching this whole class. This is very exciting. The third one is that there's no accidents. There's an absence of things happening by chance. There's an absence of things being random in your life. So I don't know, you guys, what's going to happen tomorrow? Are you going to be happy tomorrow? Are you going to be alive tomorrow? Are you going to be married tomorrow? Will you be able to pick up the phone and call your mother tomorrow? We don't know. Don't know. Can't say. But we grasp onto this reality that things are going to be the way that they were today. And when the things aren't the same as they were today, when your partner says, I loathe you, instead of I love you, we go a little crazy because we thought that they were always going to say, I love you. And we never thought they would say, I loathe you, right? And then it just seems, well, everything's random. Like, you meet someone and gosh, everything's just so amazing. And then one day they just say, I don't want to be with you anymore. And most people go into, well, I guess it's just random. I guess you just sometimes you get a good thing and then sometimes you lose a thing. And I guess it's just random. And that really is how most of the world thinks. I mean, maybe like a good Christian would be like, well, it was God. God just decided this wasn't helpful and God took him away from me or something, right? But most people, oh, so it just happened. My least favorite saying in English, I don't know if you guys have it in other languages, is it is what it is. Do you guys know from other countries? Do you know that saying? Excuse my language. I'm very sorry. This is the only time I will curse today, but that is complete and utter total bullshit. I don't ever want to hear any of you saying it is what it is. It isn't what it is. It's karma and it is emptiness. And that is it. Okay. Okay. So most people, and this is what we usually think. What's this thing? And I'm not going into the real one yet, but we know this is a pen, right? Where'd the pen come from? You are all on silent. Where did the pen come from? I will answer the question. No, we're not even getting into this. No, 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 no. If I want a pen and I want a pen right now, and I said to my friend before, hey, do you have a pen I can borrow? Because I need it for my class. Like, he didn't just do this to me. I probably would have slapped my friend if he went like this to me when I was like, hey, man, can I have a pen for my class? I will slow down. I'm sorry. No, he went and like, well, actually, he didn't hear me. So I went into his backpack and without his permission took the pen. But in a perfect world where he heard me, he would have gone and he would have handed me the pen, right? So then I would say, oh, the pen came from my friend from his backpack. But before that, where did the pen, like if I wanted to buy a pen, where would I get a pen? I don't know, maybe like I'd go to the drugstore or the grocery store and I'd buy the pen. And then on the package of the pen, it always says, I don't know, made in Taiwan or made in Bangladesh or made in Indiana or something, right? And then I would think, oh, well, the pen came from a factory. Um, and before the pen was at the factory, I don't know, maybe the pen was millions of years ago, it was just gasoline in the earth. And then the people in Saudi Arabia processed the oil and then, they made plastic and then it got sent to this factory and then they manufactured the pen and then it went on a truck and then it got shipped to Sedona and then some guy unloaded it and put it in the CVS and I drove in my car and I got the pen, right? That's where the pen, I mean, like on a conventional level, that's where the pen came from. If I asked any of you for a pen, you wouldn't do this. That would be rude. Okay. Um, so the truth of the matter is I needed a pen. We all know this. Yeah. Okay. I needed a pen. I don't know, 30 lifetimes ago. I knew about emptiness. And so I gave lots of pens away and I gave pens away with wisdom, hoping I would get more pens. And now I live in a world where there's lots of pens and sometimes they're free and I don't even have to pay for them. I can just go into my friend's backpack and take his, right? So me and the pen, we come from the same karmic seed. We share a karmic seed, okay? And I'm going to put this in simpler terms. And later, you're going to go back and listen to the 20 hours of class that Geshe Michael gave on this so that this is more clear to you, okay? So basically, the essence of this is nothing is random, okay? I set things into, what's the word? I set things into motion 30 lifetimes ago that created this pen, okay? And because I set things into motion 30 lifetimes ago, I got a pen. So some of you are probably, if you're a longtime student, saying, well, I don't understand what's wrong with that viewpoint because that's true and that's dependent origination and we believe in that. What we don't believe in is that this is a self-existent pen. And in this school of emptiness, they believe that there's some parts of self-existence to the pen. Okay. And we all know better. But is this helpful? Can this help you when your boyfriend says, I loathe you, instead of I love you? I made him. Is it helpful? It is helpful. Yes, it is. To think nothing is random. It is very helpful. Okay. You and the partner who no longer love you, or frankly, if you no longer if you no longer love your partner and he walks into the room and you think, I need to break up with this guy, it's not random. You meeting the Dharma is not random. You meeting Geshe Michael or whoever your personal heart Lama is, it is not random. All of this was set into motion a long time ago. Your car accident that you got into is not random. Getting fired from your job is not random. You caused it. Is that a comfort when your boss fires you and you're thinking, I hate this guy. I can't believe he fired me. I worked so hard. Will it help you deal with your mental afflictions about your boss if you think this is not random? Yes. You're saying no. I like when you guys disagree with me. It's good. It actually, in my experience, if I'm thinking, I caused this and this was set into motion before I even met him. If you're thinking the causes for you getting fired were set into motion before you ever started your job, I personally think that that's a little helpful in dealing with your mental afflictions. I personally think it's helpful to deal with that self-grasping. I recently had a problem with a friend and I had a lot of grasping to me and mine, and I'm right and they're wrong. And I was having a mental affliction attack. I told my friend, I just give me a day. I'll be better tomorrow when I remember that this isn't random. I'm just gonna have my feelings today, and I made a lot of bad karma. But tomorrow, tomorrow I'm gonna remember that this was set into motion before I even ever met this guy. And I'm gonna call them. And even though it's none of this is my fault, I'm gonna apologize. Okay. So you and your boss who fired you, or you and your friend who's acting kind of irrationally, you were forced into the room by one shared karma. That's what this school believes. Okay. So your karmic energy and your friend's karmic energy are shared. And I'm spending a lot of time on this one because I personally struggle with it. I think it's a little complicated. So again, the main thing here, and I really want you to think about it because I do think that most of us in reality really do think that everything is random. I really want you, the next time something weird happens in your life, to go back to this one. Okay. And I'm gonna jump schools here. Is that okay with you guys if I jump schools? Will it confuse you if I jump schools? It might confuse you. I don't care. This is important. Um, in a tantric sense, this is very important for practicing tantra. Okay. And I didn't plan on saying this, but someone must be drawing it out of me today. The people that you meet are not random. The people who are closest to you in your life are not random. And I am, just to be clear, skipping schools here. We'll go back to the not true ones, but you should look around at the people in your life. They are not random. Okay. You can think we were brought here by the same karmic seed. You can think, you can go up to the highest school of emptiness and think, I planted all these seeds. I worked really hard. I went to the nursing home. I was lonely and I dedicated the karma to meeting a good friend or a partner or something. But in the highest school, um, everyone is a manifestation or an emanation of an enlightened being sent here for you. So that's the highest school. I didn't even know if I was going to get to it, but now I'm starting in the middle of the class, and that's fine. I'll just confuse everyone. You can go back later and re-listen. There's nothing that's random, okay? And really, really, in case any of you fall asleep before I get to the end of the class, I just want to say, when you wake up with a panic attack at 4 a.m. because your partner left you, frankly, even if you are unhappy with your partner, you might still wake up at 4 a.m. with a panic attack because your life has been destabilized, and we like stability because we believe that things should be stable and we don't believe things should ever change. Really, the most helpful view is this person is trying to send me on to something higher and send me on to someone else. And it's not random. And that is the highest view of things are not random, that you are being passed along from angel to angel. And sometimes the angels don't seem like they're being very nice to you. And that's how you should deal with difficult people. And that's how you should deal with your boss when they fire you. And that's how you should deal with your partner when they leave you. That's the highest. So I just wanted to say that in case any of you leave before the hour is up. Okay. So far we've had I'm just going to talk about the 3 mental afflictions that we dealt with in the first 3 schools, okay? So one was about things lasting. One was about things that you own. And one is about things that you think you have nothing to do with and you think are just random, right? Okay, I just want you all to remember where we are. Okay, so the 4th school of emptiness, this is called No Best Song. No best song. And this really gets to the absence of judgments that aren't just made up by you. So Geshe-la liked to talk about how much he loved the singer Neil Young and how his college roommate, all the hippies are like, yeah, Neil Young, rock and roll, man. But his college roommate hated Neil Young. And, you know, maybe Geshe-la would play Neil Young and then his roommate would get kleshas or afflicted because he hated Neil Young so much. But Geshe-la was like, look, and we've all done this to our friends. Just listen to that guitar riff. If you just really listen, you'll understand how amazing Neil Young is. You just don't understand yet, right? And we hold on to this like, no, this is really the best. Like spicy food, I can't eat spicy food. It makes me sick. But a lot of my friends like spicy food and they'll be like, look, if you just try it, you'll love it. And I'm like, I'm a grown woman. I've eaten a lot of spicy food and I still don't like it. It's not the best for me. It might be the best for you. It's not the best for me. But when you really love something, you can't understand why other people don't love it. I mean, there's always that really annoying person you work with, and God bless you if you don't work with annoying people, you're probably one step away from nirvana. But the rest of us all have one person who's very just got like just get under your skin. But other people, they think they're amazing. And you're like, how can you not see how dishonest this person is? How can you not see that they chew with their mouth open and they're so noisy and they're rude, and everyone else is like, no, they're the most amazing person. They're so cool. They bring snacks to the office. They work so hard. But you're like, no, if you could only see the truth, you would understand that that guy is self-existently annoying. Okay, so this extends to how we feel about our government. Like in America, we're very polarized here. You might have heard of a guy named Donald Trump. I hear that man speak and my skin starts to crawl. But here in Arizona, half the people have Trump signs in their front yard. I mean, half these people are doing full prostration to Donald Trump this morning, but he makes my skin crawl, right? Who's right? Is he like the greatest person to ever walk the earth? Or is he a demon? Who's right? To be honest, I'm not right. But neither are they. So you can take some comfort in that, okay? But a lot of the problems in our world, like, I don't know, we have a lot of Russian friends, we have a lot of Ukrainian friends. A lot of problems in our world are being caused by some people in government thinking that they're right, and they disagree with other people in governments who think that they're wrong. And then bombs get dropped on people's houses. So this is really important, okay? If the whole world understood the absence of judgments that aren't just made up by you, there would be no more bombs falling on people's houses. If people understood that there was no such thing as a best song or being right, there would be no more bombs being dropped on people's houses. So is this a helpful flavor of emptiness? Yeah, this is a very helpful flavor of emptiness, because wars would stop. Would this remove all your suffering and get you out of samsara if you just understood that there's no such thing as a correct government or a correct form of ruling or no best song? Would this get you to enlightenment? If bombs stopped falling on the Ukrainians, would that mean they were going to get enlightened? I mean, it certainly helps to have a body, but no, it wouldn't stop all your suffering. I mean, it certainly would stop wars, so it might stop some violence, but it wouldn't get you out of samsara. This isn't enough to get you out of samsara. Understanding that you're not self-existently right all the time doesn't get you like a perfect light body, and it doesn't bring you to a state of total bliss. It would make you happy, sure, if bombs stopped falling on your house, but it won't get you out of samsara. So the point of these first 5 flavors is, yeah, they're helpful, but they don't get you out of here. Okay. Okay. So I want you to stop arguing with people about stuff. This is basically the point of this flavor of emptiness. You'll stop arguing so much with people. Because usually when we argue with people, I just had a thing the other night with a friend where I was arguing with them because I thought I was right and they were wrong. And I was annoyed that they didn't understand my point of view on things. If you really get this 4th flavor of emptiness, all the arguments in your life will stop. And wouldn't that be nice? Maybe I'm the last person left arguing with people. Okay, one person is nodding. Thank God I'm not the last one left. Okay. Okay, we're getting to the 5th flavor of emptiness, you guys. This is getting good. Okay, this one is called 50-50. Okay, and to be honest, I mean, unless you're an ARIA, if you're a longtime student, I would hope that you're at least at this place. And I think that most of us fall into this one. Okay. So really, and it's a really good place to be. If you're here, God bless. You're doing a great job, but you're not there yet. Okay. So this one is about transforming the root of this, like how you would use this in your life is to think about transforming problems into opportunities. But I'm going to just tell you the more scholarly versions of this first. So this thing, it's a pen. We all know it's a pen. Okay. So I think someone may have just turned their audio on. So you should try to mute yourself if you can. So this school of emptiness, they wouldn't say it's a pen, but they would say it's a cylinder. Okay. They would say that there's raw data here. There's some raw data. Okay. And half of it exists from you, half of it exists from itself. Okay. So the pen, the ness of the pen ness is not self-existent, but the raw data is. There's some basis that our mind is looking at, right? There is a basis here. There's something here. This school of emptiness says there is something here that's self-existent, but there isn't a pen here that's self-existent. Okay. So there's something that I'm holding in my hand, and it has some, it's suggesting pen. It's just kind of like it's not this. Okay. I can't hold this up and say there's raw data and I look at it and I create a pen. I can't say that, but I can say there's some raw data here. It's suggestive of a pen. I look at it, and because of my past seeds of giving pens to other people, I throw the label pen onto this raw data and I create a pen. Okay. So half of it is coming from the parts of the pen, the raw data, and half of it is coming from my seeds of having given pens or writing tools to other people in the past. Okay. So half is coming from here and half is coming from here. So half comes this way and half comes this way, and we meet in the middle, and this becomes a pen. Okay. So I told you they get harder as we go through the schools. So just have heart. Okay. So how do you use this in your real life, where half of it is coming from the person who's screaming at you and half of it is coming from you? So this is where, if any of you were listening to the Lojong class that Geshe-la has been teaching Lojong this whole year. If any of you have been listening, he's been talking a lot about taking problems and turning them into opportunities, right? Taking a problem, which suggests that there is a problem, suggests that there is a problem out there, and then there's a problem here, and then you come along with your mind, your mental afflictions and your sadness or your panic or your anger, and then you're looking at the problem and you're like, I'm going to change this into an opportunity. So 50% comes from you and 50% comes from the problem. Okay. So, you know, say you get fired, or I don't know, my favorite one, you get dumped, and you're like, I've got this big problem. I just got dumped and now I can't really pay my rent by myself, and how am I going to keep my job if I'm homeless, and what am I going to do? And then you turn that into an opportunity by thinking, you know, I'm actually really unhappy in my job. And frankly, I was kind of unhappy in the relationship. And now I have this freedom to do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to answer to anyone anymore. I can go out whenever I want. I can start doing things that I've always wanted to do, but felt guilty about doing because I had some guy waiting for me at home. I'm going to start taking guitar lessons. I'm going to take an acting class. I'm going to go to trivia night. I'm going to spend, more importantly, more time studying the Dharma. I'm going to have more time freed up to teach the Dharma because I don't have some guy maybe being a little jealous of me giving my time away to other people. You know, I'm in a job that I don't really like anymore. If I don't have to pay rent at this apartment, which frankly, I don't like that much anyway, I can leave the apartment, I can quit my job, and I can go travel to India for a few months. Wow. I'm so glad I had this problem because now I have all these opportunities to be really happy in my life where I was really unhappy before. Gosh, that's amazing. Okay. So I did have a big problem. I had a really big problem. And I'm realizing I can turn this self-existent problem into a lot of opportunities. And I don't wake up with panic attacks anymore. I don't. And this, you know, like this like life change for me. I don't know, it was like a little less than 3 months ago. I'm really fine now. 2 months, 3 months. It's been 3 months. But because I've really worked on number 5 and now I can really see all the opportunities in front of me, I'm not picking up panic attacks anymore. Is this going to get me enlightened? Can someone just nod their head or shake their head, please? Is this going to get me enlightened? Thank you. I know some of you, so you better nod or shake your head when I ask you. Okay, good. I appreciate it. No, this isn't going to get me enlightened. Is it going to make me happier now than I was 3 months ago? Yeah, it's really helpful. Is it good to be happy? Do we all want to be happy? Should we feel guilty about using Dharma tools to make ourselves happier? No, we shouldn't. Is it the ultimate thing that we want? Is it, well, yeah, the happiness is ultimate happiness, but yeah, Stella, thank you. I love having Stella in my classes. Stella, please come to everything I ever teach. Um, is it the ultimate thing that's going to ultimately make it? I want to meet you so much. I want to give you a big hug. Is it the thing that's ultimately going to make us a being that can serve all beings? If we're happy, if I can go to trivia night with the Jeopardy champions, which I did last week and did not come in last place, and that was very fun for me. It's not going to get me enlightened, no. But will it make me a better example to other people if I'm teaching you guys about Dharma and I'm not sitting here having a panic attack and I'm telling you that I used the 5th flavor of emptiness to get over my panic attacks? Is that helpful to you? Am I a good example now because I used the Dharma to be a more stable person whose mind is clear enough that I can teach the 6 flavors of emptiness to 175 people? Yeah, I couldn't do that 3 months ago. Okay. I couldn't. I definitely could not have. I was not a good example. You would not have wanted to see me at 7 o'clock in the morning. I would not have been clear. Okay. So these things, again, super helpful, extremely helpful, extremely, extremely, extremely helpful. Please pass these on to your non-Buddhist friends. Okay. It will stabilize their lives. Like, and everyone you know is having a crisis. Everyone you know has a problem because this is samsara and it is broken here and it is not meant to go well. I remember when I was like, I don't know, 21 or something, again with the boyfriends, you guys, I should just become a nun and get over all of these problems. Most of my life's problems are from some stupid boy. Okay. But I remember, I was 21 and I was crying because I got dumped by some guy. And, I don't know if you guys know Michael Wick from New York, but Michael took me out for Indian food to make me feel better. And I'll never forget it because Michael said, Rebecca, what did you think? This is samsara. I'm sorry, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think you would be together forever? Did you think that one of you wouldn't leave the other? Of course, one of you is going to leave the other. This is samsara. Things are broken here. Okay. So these tools are important because we have to be functioning people in order to practice the Dharma and in order to pass on the Dharma. And your friends need your help, even if you're just like, I don't know, God help you if this is your first Dharma class, but even if this is your first Dharma class, like you should pass these teachings on because they'll be very helpful to your friends. Okay. And we have 10 minutes to wrap up. I am so amazed. I was afraid I was only going to get to the first 3 flavors. And by the way, just so I don't forget, Alex Roland, who's a very lovely person, a very wonderful person, and like sunlight when she walks into the room. I think it's August 3rd. I believe she's going to be teaching the meditations that are related to these 6 flavors of emptiness. So if you have time, you can get deeper into the practice if you do the meditation. So I would go to her class if you're free that day. And if not, maybe you could listen to her recording. Okay. Okay, so this flavor. How many of you guys have heard this flavor of emptiness, which is the real one? I think you're probably heard it before. I'm gonna see if I can see all your faces for a sec. Let's see. Oh, you don't all have your cameras on. Most of you don't. Okay. I'm just going to assume you've, yeah. You've heard the 6. Oh, she hasn't. Yay. I've got one. Okay. So what is this thing? It's a pen, right? It's a pen. I think you know. I don't know what language you guys speak, but it's a pen. Okay. What would this thing be to a dog who walks in the room? I love the translators who are holding up pens. That's great. If a dog walked into the room, would they try to write a letter to their doggy girlfriend? Like, I have a pet. Woof, 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 woof. No, I've never seen they'd probably mark up the floors. Yeah. I've never seen a dog walk in and try to write a letter to their doggy girlfriend. I mean, I have cats, but we always talk about dogs. My cats would go like that. I've never seen them try to write a letter to their kitty boyfriend. Okay. No, the dog would try to chew on it. Sorry, I'm gonna, I think this is my pen now. The dog would try to chew on it, right? So who's right? Is the dog right? Is it a chew toy? Or is it a pen? Who's right? Yeah, I love it. Both are right and neither's right. Okay. So imagine the dog leaves the room. You leave the room. There's no one in the room. And we leave this thing on the table. Which one is it? Is it a pen or is it a chew toy? It's neither. Right? Because it's waiting for someone to walk in the room and decide, yeah, it's nothing yet. It can't be anything yet because there's no one there to perceive it. Okay. And that's the same of everything in your life. That's the same of this cylinder. And that's the same of this cylinder. It's nothing until you have a mind to look at it. Okay. Wouldn't it be nice if I never got a cold again? Wouldn't it be nice if I could just look down and be like, oh, this is my golden arm made of light, and this is my sword of wisdom. This isn't an arm anymore. I'm gonna decide this is my sword of wisdom and this is my arm made of light. Okay, everyone close their eyes. I'm gonna count to 3, and when we open our eyes, I'm gonna be this shining enlightened being. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I'm really sorry, you guys. I'm still just this like stupid human girl. Okay. I'm so sorry. if your seeds were better, if my seeds were better, I would have opened my eyes just now and I'd be an enlightened being. This proves you can't just force it, okay? You have to have the seeds. You have to have the seeds to look down and see this cylinder, which, by the way, isn't even a cylinder. In this school of emptiness, this differentiates it from that other one I was talking about. These parts, right? It's not one cylinder. Look, there's all these different parts, and you can keep breaking it down, and you can keep breaking it down, and you can keep breaking it down, and you'll never find the thing it really is. Because the thing that it really is being forced on you by your past karma, right? The fact that I can even see this as one thing versus a million different cells coming together is because of my past karma. It's because, well, I don't know what forces me to see it all as one thing and not a million things, but I do know that the karma of seeing myself as a human, it's because I protected life in the past and I kept my vows, and then I was really lucky and I got a human rebirth. Okay. This is the highest school of emptiness. And this is the one that will get you out of samsara. Why? Why is this the one that can get you out of here? Because yeah, it is a good question. Because if you realize that every single thing is coming from how you treat other people, yeah, you'll have renunciation, sure. But if you realize that that every single thing in this life is dependent on how you treat other people, your morality will be immaculate. And if your morality is immaculate, you will be able to transform your world into a paradise. And then you will wake up one day. You won't have a cold. Yay. You will wake up one day and you will see a golden arm made of light. It won't be this thing that gets old anymore. Okay. So we really want to think about this final form of emptiness the most. And look, like, it can be a little difficult for your friends to hear there isn't a single thing that isn't coming from how you treat other people. That's a big leap in our society, right? It's a big leap to go from, well, things change, first flavor of emptiness, to no, there isn't a single thing in your world that isn't coming from how you treated other people. It's a big leap for people, and sometimes it can scare them, and they can start to think, well, if there's nothing that truly, really exists, then maybe I'm not here either, and then maybe nothing matters. Some people go to that, and when they start breaking down the arm into smaller parts and smaller parts and smaller parts and smaller parts, they get a little scared. So probably with the new person you met on the airport, on the airplane, when you go home and they say, well, what do you do for work? And you're like, well, I mean, well, it's not my job, but I'm not I'm a Dharma teacher and I just taught this class about emptiness. I wouldn't start with the sixth flavor. I might start with number 1. Okay. Unless you're Geshe Michael and you're a master teacher, then you start with number 6. But for the rest of us, I think it's good to start with the lower ones. And then you work people up slowly, 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 slowly until you get to the final one. Okay. And we're out of time, so no time for questions. I'm sorry. But just to wrap up, like, I do think obviously this highest school is the most important one, and this is the one we should be meditating on. Don't meditate on things being impermanent. Honestly, you already understand that. But if you're grieving someone, if you're grieving something, it's really hard to think about number 6. It's just chronically inside your body. It's very difficult when your mind isn't clear to think about number 6, but you can always think about 1 through 5. Those are easier. You can rest your head on those and they will bring you up to number 6. So, so I think we have 1 minute, but I wanted to thank all of you for coming, and listening. And I really appreciate you being here, especially if you had to wake up early or stay up late. And I hope that you will pass this on, because well, you're now lineage holders on the 6 flavors of emptiness. So please pass it on. And, I would say I'm going to give you an assignment. Talk to one of your friends who's having a problem today or tomorrow, if it's too late. Listen to them talk about their problems. And then I want you to pick one of these flavors of emptiness and try to use it to help them. And you can send me an email if you want and let me know how it goes. But really try to put these into practice now. Don't wait. It's really important with Dharma teachings. As soon as you get the teaching, pass it on. And thank you, ACI, for letting me teach. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rebecca, for being here today and for sharing your amazing story and how you navigate your emotions and how you put in practice the 6 flowers of flowers, 6 flavors of emptiness. I want to say thank you to all the participants who come here today, all the tech support, all the translators. I'm so happy to see more volunteers recording different languages. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Constanza, for translating to Romanian. And especially, I want to say thank you to all the people who support ACI, because of their kindness and their support, we can offer these classes for free. And if you feel that you want to support our mission to offer the Dharma for free, please donate whatever you want, whatever you can't. We will use very wisely your donation. And I want to say that, yes, we will have next week on Wednesday, again, the 2nd class of emptiness with Alex Rowland. Will be on August 2nd at 6 a.m. Arizona time. So please save the date. And I want to invite you all to visit our website to see more interesting and special classes that we are preparing for all of you, and special programs that we'll release in the next couple of weeks. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Rebecca. Please come back soon. We would love to have you again in this series or in any other classes that you would like to offer for ACI. Thank you all. See you next time.